Okay. After I left the seminary and hung around Hazleton for a little while, I decided I wanted to go to a different place, and I went down to Washington, where I was going to have a chance to see the world. But then I ended up first the story of meeting my honey, living there. But then I got a job at the bank, and as I moved at the bank,
Well, how'd you get the job at the bank?
hmm, it's a long story.
We got time.
Yeah, but, well, I looked around for different jobs and everything. But then but I remember this guy, Hugh O'Donnell. He was at the seminary with me. He said, when you go to Washington, call up my dad and you get a job. When I couldn't find anything else, and I remembered to call him up. I didn't know he was president of, vice president of the bank. So he said, yeah, my son said you're going to call. And I've been waiting for you. So I did get a job at the bank, and there's stories about that. And I got a learning kind of thing. Well, they put me in the accounting room in the basement of the main office, and my job was to do payrolls that people came in. They were big accounts, but and I won't go through three or four of them. But at the time, I was kind of courting my honey, and I was preoccupied with meeting her. And then one night, I did my whole thing. It was a couple $100,000, and I was short 3 cents. So I went in my pocket and I put 3 cents in the thing, and I balanced because we couldn't leave until we all balanced. I went home. About a week later, two very serious looking men came down. They were carrying like briefcases, and I went and talked to the manager, the branch manager where I was, and they were talking and talking. Then all three of them turned around and looked at me, and I didn't know what was going on. So they called me over, and I went over, and they said, "Did you balance last week?" And I said, "Well, yeah. Well, what about 3 cents? Were you off 3 cents at all?" He says, "Well, yes." I said, "Do you know that every single branch of the bank in Washington, D.C. has had to redo all of their banking because we were totally short 3 cents?" And Mr. Mellon, who was the man there, he said, "I want to kill you," he says. "I want to," he says, "but I'd rather have you stay here than punish you and everything." But so he was not very pleased with me. But I did have a nice date with my honey. I
Okay.
did get there in time. And I did not do very well with the bank, however. Okay.